I started playing Minecraft around 2013, around a friend's house, on the Xbox 360. I enjoyed it very much, and started playing it at home, on my tiny little laptop that ran at about 2 frames per second, but I didn't notice, because I was young then, and it seemed amazing when I got up to 10 FPS. Um, I mostly played in creative, or I'd play on minigame servers. I always wanted to sort of play a single player survival world or a multiplayer survival world and keep at it for a very long time, like a lot of the YouTubers that I watched and enjoyed. I often aspired to have a world like theirs because that seems really cool, but I very much ran into what people refer to as the 2-week Minecraft period quite often, where I'd be really motivated about the idea, but would very quickly sort of lose that motivation. I'd burn myself out. Until around 2015, maybe 2016, whenever 1.13 came out, I started a world in that version, and it rolled over to the Village and Pillage update, and I was really enjoying the game, and it was the first time I had a real long-term survival world, and rather annoyingly, it got corrupted. I think my disk space ran out, so it couldn't save properly. I lost all of the items in inventories and chests. I had an issue where the chunks were in the wrong place. All of the blocks were still there, but they were sort of in the wrong place. I found that very frustrating, and it sort of killed my experience. And the next time I came to play Minecraft, I just wanted sort of a more relaxing experience because of how frustrated I'd been, right, with that experience. So I decided to go the nostalgia route. So I started a game up in 1.6, and that is this world. I never expected the world to be a mainstay. I was mostly just loading up to sort of build a house and mess about and experience the nostalgia. But eventually I beat the dragon, and very quickly I'd just build a thing, and then another thing, and then another thing, and at some point it reached that critical mass where that was the world that I wanted to build stuff in, even though it was, several years behind on updates. And so ever since, this has been the world that I have played in. And it started very simply with a very small house, like this. And I think all I built, but I was very, feeling very speedrunnery. I built this, and I think I built that boat, and that is it before I killed the end dragon. Everything else came later. In fact, I have down here, this is where I kept the egg, very first. I made a little end stone shrine for it. This has all been restored. Originally I tore out the end chanting area and just moved it into my new place. But recently I, restored it, because it looked very sad down there without it. Yeah, this is my first house. And I basically built it all on that first night. I think maybe the window roof came later, but I was trying to specifically channel this nostalgia, right, and build it in a way that I feel like I would have at the time, playing at the time. Obviously, when I was first playing in 2013, I was quite young. I don't think I would have been capable of any of the stuff I do here, but I'm still trying to mimic that sort of era, as if I was the age I am now, playing this version. I try and lean into the aesthetic of the version, I guess. So yeah, that is my first nether portal. Obviously, I sort of walled it over because it messed with my network, but I wanted to keep it. And this is sort of the the first mining entrance. There's a cow down there that's been there forever. This is just a sort of a very basic strip mine. I'm not going to show that. Everyone's seen a strip mine. But yeah, that over there is my house, and I'll get to that in a moment. But this is probably the first thing that I built after defeating the Ender Dragon, which is a quite funny idea that I didn't build a farm until after. I honestly, I think I just subsisted originally off carrots by the shore here, which is kind of a bit weird to me. I feel like I really was just living it simple, I guess. Maybe these were potatoes and I cooked them. I find it hard to believe that I just played that whole early period of the game with just carrots, but maybe I did. Obviously the classic sugarcane coast, you know? I haven't had the heart to remove that. And of course the boat. I never did finish it. I now don't want to finish it because it's become sort of it's you know, about preservation. Well, there's a boat there with no sail, you know, that needs to stay like that. And also a sort of non-logical steering wheel that sort of floats. Yeah. But let's go look at some stuff that I've actually built in more recent times. So this is my tree farm. As you can see, I'm decorating. You'll notice that these are poppies. Poppies were not introduced, well, originally, in fact, if I turn off, you'll see they are roses. My name is Poppy. I very much enjoy the poppies. I think they're fun. So I have chosen to change them back. I understand that, you know, that's kind of a taboo in the Golden Age Minecraft community. It's like, no, but the roses are the true, you know, but no, I enjoy the poppy. Nope. Yep. And then I also have I grafted onto that resource pack my skin, my Minecraft skin, because it doesn't work on these old versions. Yeah. This was a sheep farm, but we are currently in the spawn chunks, as per Iron Farm. So they basically were killing all spawning. So I've just sort of let trees, obviously I planted them, they didn't just crop up. But the idea is to have it sort of seem abandoned and overgrown. This is a cow pen. Obviously, I haven't built a replacement cow pen outside of the spawn chunks yet, so I'm just keeping these two, just in case suddenly I can't find any cows. So technically they are taking up slots in the spawn chunks, but it's a very minor. There's also a pig in the spawn chunks over there. And horses, I don't think tamed horses qualify, but yeah, I have a few horses in the spawn chunks. So this is what I'd call the watchtower. This, I was really trying to channel that style of sort of 2013, right? The kind of thing that I'd have seen some YouTuber build and think, oh, that's the coolest building ever. I just tried to channel that. And I think it's pretty cool. Even now. It's very slow to go up it. Obviously there's no sort of... I could probably have come up with a better way of going up it, but I just thought this felt authentic and nostalgic. But yeah, this is sort of a viewing platform for the area. Obviously it's built sort of at the edge, so most of what you can view is ocean, until I build something nice out there. But it gives you a nice view of my sort of area. And there's my house that I'm going to go look at. Yeah, and there's a mob farm above the house. That's actually a very recent addition. That was in this last couple of months. I added that. And I spent a long time umming and ahhing over such a sort of egregious sort of build, because it definitely changes the skyline. Changing the skyline is something I've tried to avoid, because I very much like sort of the wizard tower, and this is a sugarcane farm. I've disliked the idea of changing it too much, but I think the benefit of having bones and string on tap is just worth it, and gunpowder. But I don't really use TNT very much. I need to kind of fix this. This is a suboptimal pathing over here. That's another thing. The paths. Trying to channel the paths in a way that I feel like is a very 2013 way. I feel like sandstone was really all the jazz back then. Yep. So this is a commemoration of changing the texture pack to the poppy. So long live the poppy. Rest in peace, the rose. Yep. And nice little bench. I think I originally built this, for sort of sunrises and moonrises, but it's a bit too high right now. These are my horses. Normally I reserve diamond horse armor for like the fastest horses. These two aren't particularly fast, but they are the first horses that I got. They're like the original breeding pair from whence my other horses came. So they're not especially, good, but they're sort of they get their little special spot in this actual building. The rest of the horses are in a very temporary space right now because I've not really, despite playing in the horse update, I haven't actually touched horses to any major degree. So this is my house. This is another case of trying to sort of. I definitely feel like there was a movement in like 2013 that I remember of buildings being built like this. Like, I tend to be more comfortable in a slightly medieval style, but I wanted to be different. So I decided to go for this sort of modern house vibe. And just opposite me, this is my villager, my butcher, and he will sell me steak, which is one great thing about old versions. I think they sell this up until 1.8. At 1.8, they stopped selling steak. And also he's a leather worker as well. He's a butcher and a leather worker because they hadn't yet separated into two different classes. And the fun part is, if I were to choose to upgrade this world, he would remain with those trades, which would make him sort of unique, unreplicatable. You couldn't replicate that after updating. That's another feature of my. I tried to make them invisible with texture packs. I failed. I'm sure there was a way to do it in this old version, but I haven't succeeded. I think this is effective enough. Obviously, I did an interior here. He has a living space. Obviously, you can't really go there because he's in my car. But, I think originally I wanted to bring a villager up here to be sort of the, maybe his partner. But, well, he's only got one bed, so clearly not at the moment. But maybe I will do that at some point. It's just I don't want to spam the place with entities that aren't particularly useful. I already have areas for villagers. On the topic of those kind of entities, there is a pig back here. I know it's a butcher's, so that makes this seem quite sad, but I believe this is a pet pig. This is, they wouldn't be keeping, they don't, you wouldn't keep, a butcher wouldn't keep animals that they were going to butcher, because, you buy that from a farmer, unless you both. Now this is an iron farm. Now when I built this, by the time I got to this, the villager update had come out, and I had never built a traditional villager farm. I think I built villager update farms. They changed them as well, like it was 1.14 and it was like 1.14.5 or something that changed them. But I was much more. I could understand that. I'd never built one with the doors, so I felt like this was a fun experience. For some reason, I was under the impression they had to be built at world height. I had to get villagers up there. As far as I'm aware, there is no reason for it to be built at world height. It still works. I was expecting a golem to come down. It might be broken now. This is the first one. It's no longer where I get most of my iron from. As you can see, the collection system is completely covered in lava, so no items collected. There's just a bunch of old items. It's really more of a poppy farm now, or I guess rose farm, because they are still roses, despite their texture. Oh, rain. We love rain. This is an entrance to a zombie grinder. It's a very simple affair, sort of dark room, collects all in one spot, goes up a water elevator, falls down, takes damage. It's like 2 hits. Let me just... see? This is one tragedy of 1.6. Specific volume controls for rain was not introduced, so I'm just going to sort of lower the general volume. Now we're going to have a look at my house now. So this is my house. I tend to use iron doors. I don't really know why that started. I think it's just, it's more secure, isn't it? The zombie ain't breaking that down. This is my sort of trophy room. We have the first cake. I accidentally ate it one time when showing a friend. This is the first Wither Skull, I think. It might have been the first Wither Skull after I defeated the Wither. To commemorate that I defeated the Wither. Because I'm using my beacon. And this is the Dragon Egg. Obviously, only one in the world. I could dupe it, but if I ever need another Dragon Egg for something, I might dupe it, but I like the specialness of the item. I kind of wish there were more items like it, of which there are only one. It's just kind of funny that the only item like that in the world is an item that is so easy to dupe because it falls. This is something goofy. This is I believe it's a map of the end. It shows up all weird. Sort of a weird pattern. And this is another thing in old versions. You were able to extend over the sign. I think there are other ways of achieving this in newer versions, but back then it was just as simple as spamming @ or the especially long characters. I think this will disappear if I update the version, which is a bit of a shame, but nothing's lasts forever. This is my bedroom. Obviously this is the computer where I sit and play Minecraft. This is sort of, a standard affair bedroom area. This is my music disc collection. In fact, I think there's one in right now. There we go. Good old blocks. I thought it was chirp for a second. Yep, this is a golden apple. Enchanted golden apple, you might notice. And I did not find this. I crafted it. And that's another great little thing about old versions. You were able to craft enchanted golden apples. This is sort of... this is sort of just a room that needed to be filled. So I put a sort of... it looks kind of TARDIS-like, but it's more of a workstation. So for brewing. This is also where I keep my brewing ingredients. And this is sort of a redstone workshop. This is where I keep my redstone stuff. Instead of keeping it in the main storage room, which is just kind of annoying and I probably shouldn't do, but maybe I could do that. So I've only just thought of that just now. Might do that. I'll leave that for now. Maybe I'll... it does kind of look annoying. Maybe if I make this a slab, I can put the chest in one? I'm not sure. But yeah, this is obviously a little smelting area, auto smelter, basic design. And this storage room can contain pretty much every item in the game, which is amazing for modern versions, where you would struggle with something this size. I mean, you wouldn't if you're playing normally, but if you play the way that I do, you would struggle. It's great. I'm not even like these are all empty. I picked not an empty one, but most of these bottom ones are empty as well. They were just added for sort of junk, just sort of to put stuff in. Like bones. This is the output for the mob farm. It's not quite... I recently extended it. There I added extra chests. There's a sort of destruction system for excess items, and also this is a bin. And this is my enchanting area, and there is nothing behind this painting. Why would there be anything behind that painting? And this is sort of a botanist area. I don't use these chests. I originally was using them for sort of flowers and stuff, but I kept on being annoyed having to come over here. And sort of the same vein as the redstone. This is maps, and I don't think any of these are especially interesting. Oh no, there we go. That's an interesting one. That shows, that's I think the largest size map available. Maybe, I think you can do one higher maybe. But that shows, one of my favourite things about this seed is the fact that we're on an island. This whole thing is one big island. And I love it. I love islands. Love building on an island. It's fun. I think I've got another copy of that map in here. Yeah. And I'm now going to reveal that I lied, and there is something on the other side of the painting. In fact, I think you can see it through there. Now this is a basement. This is where I keep my nether portal. Not that I move it about very often. And this is sort of a spare bulk storage. I built this before I added extra chests underneath. And also this is meant to be for zombie pig, but I moved you, didn't I? So that's kind of useless now. Originally I had him locked up here. This was originally for a zombie villager that I locked up, called Zombino. I don't know why I called him that. But I had him locked in here. But, you know, sadly he died. I don't think he died. I think I loaded the game up in peaceful mode. Because I was playing a different world in peaceful mode. And you join this one, and there's no locking feature, like in modern Minecraft. So he just despawned, and that was very annoying. But oh well. And down here you have a sort of a mining setup. And here you have a miner cow's mine. Sort of a little mine shaft for a cow. There we go. You know, everyone has a miner cow, right? And then that just goes down to a very basic mining system. And this is one of those day one caves that I explored. It was not this lit up originally. Obviously, I've gone and lit up all of the caves. Well, I don't know. I haven't gone around in spectator mode because it doesn't exist. But the odds on the mob farm are pretty good, so I can assume I've done a pretty good job. Still raining, eh? This is an automatic crop farm. I'm not going to set it off because it's annoying to replant, but it is kind of bad. It's of my own design, so it kind of just isn't that great. But again, it's one of those sort of classic builds. And next to it, another classic build that is very broken. I think it only works in later versions, but I built it anyway. As you can see, adult chickens get stuck inside the slab quite often, which means I get eggs in here, and I think I'm going to disable this because I don't tend to use chicken. Feathers are nice, but this is more feathers than I think I'll need for a long time. So I think I need to sort of dismantle this thing. It was very cool. I don't think I'll dismantle it. I'll probably just turn it off. Kill the chickens, you know. I have enough eggs to repopulate. This is a cactus farm. Obviously, I did a very classic design choice in Minecraft of just sort of giant pixel art version. Same with the zombie over there. This is... Oh, I'm surprised that chest is empty. Well, not empty, but so empty. Because this thing well overproduces. Or at least it did originally. I wonder if there's something wrong with the hopper setup there. They might just be destroying the rest of them. but I'll have a look at that another time. This is a sugarcane farm. This is of Mumbo Jumbo's design. Obviously, you can hear it. It's all just getting burned right now because this is just full. This might seem like a ludicrous amount of sugarcane, but I was trying to get emeralds via villages, and the easiest way of doing that at the time was using this guy who bought paper, and he bought paper in the last slot of his inventory. He always does this. He bought paper in the last slot of inventory, which means every time you did it, it would reset, and you'd be able to do the trade again. So that was the only way to get emeralds for me for a long time. I've since done the same thing with an iron trade, which took a very long time. So this is kind of redundant now, but I really like its effect on the skyline. It's another thing that I might turn off. I might just disable the hopper clock. Just keep it as a sort of, and then turn it back on if I need it. This is where I keep my farmer villager. I don't really utilize him. I don't really get out. There we go. I don't really utilize them very much. Let's see what he sells. Yeah, there's nothing really here that's worth. I guess apples, if I want to make golden apples in great quantity. But I have enough apples from just tree farming, and I don't have enough gold to make golden apples, so yeah, it's not particularly useful. I quite like this house though. This is another sort of classic vibes. What else? Yes, I can head over here now. So this is the entrance to the Wizard's Tower. Obviously the real entrance is up there, but this is how you get there. Sort of a hollow hill situation. And this is the Wizard's Tower. I'm not going to go all the way up there. It's just an enchanting room. But I'm very proud of it. I think it's a lovely skyline build. In fact, I'm going to puzzle down. This over here is a spider, and that is because down here is a spider spawner. Again, very simple affair. I don't think this one damages them because that's a very annoying thing to do. It just collects them all in one spot. I have a vein of arthropods axe somewhere. In fact, is it this one? That's right. Obviously, I have tried to resist the urge to build anything too close. This is as close as the spider is really bordering on the line of interfering with the classic sort of day one zone. But, I think that's acceptable because it looks kind of cool. Maybe not from that angle, but still. This is my spawn location. That's where I spawned. This was bonus chest. I did it with bonus chest. I generated the bulb with bonus chest. I don't really know why. Just did. I'm fairly sure it wasn't this messy over here. I think Endermen have stolen blocks from me. But I did take these items. This is a restoration. Again, I loaded up the seed and checked to see what was in the chest, and I placed it back. Just so restoration for the sake of restoration. Now this is, I believe, the Iron Foundry by Tango Tech. This is probably the most annoying thing I have ever built in Minecraft. So there came a point where trading with villagers with iron, my iron demands were not being met by that thing up there. I'm glad it stopped raining. And so I switched to this, and it took a very long time because you have to place a lot of those doors, and then you have to, but in this very specific order, and then you have to break some of those doors and build a sort of island far away from the thing and connect it to those doors and keep track of which doors you've broken and which ones you haven't and in what order, and it was quite frustrating. and a lot of troubleshooting. And originally it didn't work because I was using Optifine for 1.6, which broke it. So that was very frustrating. But now it works. As you can see, there are iron golems. I think one escaped in the process of building it. And the other iron golems I built just sort of an extra zombie assurance, because I have died AFK once or twice. Which is what all the torch spam is trying to avoid. Eventually I will try and hide a lot of the torch spam. Sort of jack-o'-lanterns under carpet, maybe. But for now, torch spam. Here is the sort of the golden boy. He sells me all the diamond gear, which is great, and he most importantly has this trade. The sound here is awful, but it's convenient to be so close to where the iron comes in. And I think this is another case of, right now the iron is just simply being burnt because it's just too fast. This was definitely overkill. As you can see, this is a huge storage system. This was definitely an overkill farm to build, but I'd rather, experience that. As frustrating as it was, I now have what is probably for the period the most efficient iron farm, which I just think is really cool. I also think it kind of looks really cool. I don't know, I tried doing this sort of strange decoration to the storage area. I don't really know what it's supposed to be. It's kind of a bit strange. But yeah, I like it. I'm very proud of it. Yeah. Anyway, there's one little spot that I haven't explored in my main sort of area. Or shown. Obviously, I've been there. I've explored it. This is an automatic cocoa bean farm. Obviously, I don't really have need for such vast quantities of cocoa beans, but it was a fun project. I did it all by myself, and this is a sort of extra area for where there is no redstone, and I was like, building all this decoration, having such space seems like such a waste. So I have a pet axolotl. Obviously not a pet cat, but a pet axolotl. I have had both pet wolves and pet cats on this world, and they have all gotten lost. I don't know how. I feel like I kept them in the house most of the time, but they still managed to. There he is again. Look at him. He'll just do that over and over. But yeah, they just get lost, and I'm not sure why. This is another project that I did by myself, and you can tell because it's awful. I will integrate this properly, make an actual build out of it. But for right now, this was just, I needed flowers for something. I think I needed dye, like red, not red dye obviously, because I could just use the iron farm. I think I just needed yellow dye for something. Oh yes, this sugarcane farm isn't perfect. It does spit the occasional piece of sugarcane out. This is the wrong angle to be viewing this from. This is a sort of miniaturized version of the desert temple, obviously with wool. Originally it came with wool. There is nothing down here yet, unfortunately. Everyone I've shown it has asked if I built anything down there, but I will at some point. It's a good idea. But I haven't yet. Hi! Where did you come from? I don't think we're quite out of the spawn chunks yet, so that's annoying. You can hear a zombie. I know. Ooh! You are dangerous over here. This is the oddity, not the sheep. The sheep is perfectly normal. This here. Ooh. A little bit of terrain jankiness. I find it kind of cool. This is my sort of. These are my horses. These are my sort of current use ones. That's why you shouldn't be around here. Give me 1 second. Let me just. Can I get you back in here? assume you escape from here. Come on. Come on. Let me use an actual block then. There we go. Oh, that's an annoying pickaxe. Just having foot clutch is quite painful. I recently died, hence my complete lack of XP. Just a case of being foolish and AFKing. But yeah, this is my stables. These are the sort of the main on-the-go horses. There are a load of horses over there, which is my attempt to breed a very fast horse. But because I've not been using any tools, they're kind of all mixed up, and I haven't. At some point, I'll build an area for properly testing them with the the clock in a little area to test their jump heights and stuff. But right now, they're just sort of about. I think one of them is the fastest. I think he is amongst them. But these are my sort of general transport horses. I thought I would use them more than I do. I don't really use them that often. But this, it's inspired by a build by Etho from his Let's Play world. Although I did the redstone myself. And I'm pretty proud of how it works. So, obviously the light detects this pressure plate, and getting on the horse triggers the tripwire hook, which allows you to leave. Again, that is... I'm quite proud of this. Obviously the initial idea is of Etho's, but I managed to get it to work. I wouldn't really consider myself particularly good at redstone, so the fact that I managed to get it to work in a fairly compact way as well, like it's not a mess. This is the redstone inspector who can verify my claims. Yes. All up to code. This here is just sort of an area I refer to as the lake. God, it's really loud here. The sheep. This is naturally spawning. I just decided to build a sort of path around it. There's not much else to see here. There's a villager over there who I think sells aqua affinity. So, clearly a water-loving villager. So, out on the lake, fishing. That is pretty much everything in the compound. I'm going to take you, and I'm going to head over to the one other area that I've built up. I say one. There's a few other areas I've built in, but the one main area where I've spent a lot of my time, and that is along this road. It starts getting a bit more dicey torch-wise as you get further away. But I should be fine. Yeah. Bit of a bold patch for the for the forest here. I think I want to build a sort of a little campsite. No, it's not an especially long road, but still a little area for someone to be stopping. But here is Oaktown. This has been my just building project. Everything over there tends to be fairly functional. This is the opposite. There's not really any function here. I did toy around with the idea of making it a sort of a trading hall, but I don't want to. Now, these rails, I hope, should prevent any mobs from getting in and any villagers from getting out. I haven't seen any villagers escape yet, but otherwise they have complete free roam of this place. That doesn't mean they actually, go where I want them to. They all tend to hang out over there. But yeah, this is Soaktown. What can I focus on first? This is a sawmill. It's sort of a forested area inside the wall. That's being used to produce lumber. Obviously, it's a very classic trick with rails, and then a sort of a plank production. And this is a bunch of stored planks. This is a farmhouse. This is for the farmer who tends to these fields out here. This is fun. This building's got a fun little basement because I didn't know when I was building it, but right underneath is a mob spawner. So I just made it a sort of mob spawner shaped basement. Obviously, I took the mossy cobblestone because it's not renewable, and I like building with it. But yeah, I tried to decorate all of the interiors to some level. Some of them are slightly better decorated than others, but I did them all with a specific sort of idea in mind for who lives there. The basement for this one, for instance, has spare bales of hay. And obviously this is it doesn't really make sense that they're storing so much hay when this is clearly ready to be harvested. But I would just argue that while it looks ready to harvest, maybe it isn't. There over there is the lighthouse. This is a very basic, sort of classical lighthouse design. I based it off of one of the Eddystone lighthouses. I'm a big fan of Eddystone Lighthouse. I built another iteration of Eddystone Lighthouse on this world, and I'll get to that in a bit. But yeah, obviously it's not a one-to-one, but it's inspired by. And up there is a minecart going around a detector rails, in a sort of a little circle, creating a little pen. I know you can do that in observers, with observers even, in modern versions. I haven't chosen to do that. I really hoped that a villager would hang around here, but I definitely brought one over here and set them free, but they're not out in the ocean, which is what they tend to do, so I assume they just walked all the way back. That colourful display over there is the marketplace, and I'll get there in a moment. The main reason that all the villagers coalesce there is because I have trapped a bunch of the villagers in their market stalls. So everyone wants to go talk to them. I don't entirely know how the idea works, but they seem to group up. I say that, and I don't see too many running about. So maybe that's not quite so true. One other thing you might have noticed, this is another texture change. These are all note blocks. I like the look of them as crates, so I just sort of slapped a sort of cross texture over them. I think down here there is a little pirate's cove. Sort of smuggler's cove even. They're not exactly pirates. And this is where they've been skimming a little bit off the top from the dock. So they have a little smuggler's area here. I'm really proud of this little spot. It's one of the last things I built for the town. I would consider the town mostly done now. There's still a few things. I aim to fill all the chests with something that makes sense. For instance, this one has these 52 pieces of paper meant to represent playing cards. I want to go around and do stuff like that in every chest, but at the same time, that's an annoying thing to do. So I haven't fully. This here, it doesn't really make sense that it just goes through the water, but this is their little smuggler's port, right next to a guard tower, which doesn't really make any sense, but it's need to always make sense. Felled a tree. I'm just gonna head back. This is the market. Obviously, this is another thing I'd like to do. I'd like to fill these chests with sort of the appropriate items in the item frames. I just kind of added a random things to these item frames. It doesn't relate to what the actual villager sells. I don't think I've traded with any of them. The original idea was to, you know, have this be a trading hall, but I'm not entirely happy with how secure these guys are. I would hate to spend ages trying to get, you know, perfect librarians, for instance, only for them to be killed by some zombies. I think they're pretty secure, but I reckon, you know, like a zombie villager could get in and kill this one here, for instance, very easily. So I've just played it safe and just put random villagers in there. I will probably build a librarian area. So I'll see, here's one wondering about. I'll probably build a sort of librarian area at some point, like a giant library. But for now, not part of this town. This town is basically done. Here we see them all wandering about. They sort of coalesce here, and I don't think. Yeah, more people in the canal. I've tried to secure the canal as much as possible. I built the canal before I decided to have villagers actively here, and I knew it was going to be a problem, but it's still happening. Everyone loves the blacksmith. Obviously, they don't normally in regular villages because there's no door. But, you know, clearly they like it. These 3 buildings here, this fishmonger's, this weapons store, and this blacksmith, were the 3 first buildings in Oaktown. They started it. This is mostly reclaimed land. This is a sort of a walled seafront. Like a good portion of this was originally ocean. But yeah, these are all houses. I tried to build them all again in sort of villager core, early Minecraft style. Like this one is basically a 1-to-1 villager house. This one is actually inspired by modern villager houses. I thought I'd chuck one in that's got that inspiration. But the rest are sort of, you know, more traditional. I can hear lava here. I think I covered over a lava pit, which I should probably. I don't really like that effect that you can hear lava here. I should either fix that or create some reason for there to be. Maybe that's them cooking in here, because this is. I say cooking. There's no area to cook in here, but this is a lunch spot called the Old Log Luncheon. This is a sort of a. I want to say diner, but there's definitely nowhere to cook in here, so. Sort of a seating area to eat inside a giant tree trunk. Giant trees play a little bit into the sort of lore around this place. It's called Oaktown because in the center is a special tree. This is a special oak tree, which will be a lot bigger one day. Right now, it's quite small by the standard of its species. Obviously it's oak, but it's a sort of a special oak. A portal oak tree. Which will make sense when you see what is inside it. I chose the wrong side to be on to start explaining that. There you go. This is how I get here when I'm not using horses. And the idea is that it sort of is a magical tree that can transport you places. Or at least can transport players places. I don't think the villagers are able to use it. This is the keep. The keep? I don't think that's the right word. It's the town hall. But I built it sort of to be sort of semi-fortified. The idea being that this was the first building before there was any wall. So it had to be, you know, defendable from raiders. But now it's sort of a town hall, and the downstairs is a library. And actually, I do want to put a librarian here in a minecart. That's something I've been meaning to do. It's an example of this place not being entirely finished. It's a bit of a low light. Not sure I like that. Yeah, obviously up here is the mayor's office. There's no mayor in there right now. He's he's at home. And then this is the stables. There's just a few random horses here. I'm not going to go in all the houses, but all the houses are decorated on the interior to some level. This is a sort of a mining operation. This is something that I will build in basically every world you put me in. I'll build some tiny little mining area. I don't really know why, I just like it. Oftentimes in servers I will just build mining areas. I'll build a mining town or something. I try to restrain myself here, it's only a little small pocket. Because it doesn't make too much sense for this place to have much of a, a logging industry and a mining industry. And I don't know, it doesn't seem big enough to support all those, but yeah. And maybe a tourist industry, because here I have a beach. I tried to go for those classic changing rooms, although they do have little windows, so I know that that's secure. But extra doors means the villagers might come over here. They don't. I hoped there'd be lots of villagers on the beach. Well, not lots of, but a few. Instead, there's pigs. The pigs started over here, I don't know why. There were just loads of pigs over here, sort of across the bridge. But yeah, I quite like the little beach. I think I did an alright job. There's lots of hidden lighting here as well. That's another thing. I tried to hide lighting as much as possible here. Obviously there's like torches still everywhere. But I tried to... They're not just torches on the floor. They're mostly torches, on a wall or on a fence or on a roof. Which still doesn't make too much sense. Oh, one big building I haven't shown. This is the brewery slash tavern. None of them come in here. I was hoping that some of them would come in here, but they don't. So it looks very quiet and empty. Obviously up here, I didn't expect them to come up here, but this is sort of a living area for the person who runs this establishment. Obviously, it would make sense for this to be a not keep, it's the wrong word, an inn as well. I didn't do that because I chose to just go for more seating area. There's also an outdoor seating area. Sort of very classic thing. I consider this place more of a pub than a tavern, maybe. There isn't an area for food to be prepared, but there is an area for alcohol to be prepared that's down here. Sort of a cellar. And just sort of basing on my work experience, there has to be somewhere to get all the stuff down there. People aren't going to carry it through the restaurant. So there's sort of an entrance here for carts full of, I guess barley for beer. And barrels, barrels? Crates of stuff. That's everything in the inner wall. There's only one building really, other than the farm, outside the inner wall. And that's this here as well. I guess there's a little market stall, so I've lied. But that is the post office. This is supposed to be a net containing the post, kind of like those train nets. The idea being that someone on a horse rides past and grabs it on the way out. There's a bunch of PO boxes here with, sort of random amounts of letter. Some of them very old and gone yellow. And that's pretty much everything in Oaktown. There's a pumpkin pie shop here. This isn't this is one of the very early builds. It doesn't really make sense to be so in such prime real estate as the entrance here. With the town hall and the stables and the pumpkin pie shop. But yeah, it's an early build. So, when building Oaktown, I decided that there should be. Oh God, this one's quite slow. There should be somewhere that protects Oaktown, and so I haven't built a path yet, but there is a castle or keep that is where is the military and leadership presence that looks after Oaktown. This is the Eddystone Lighthouse. I think this is Eddystone Lighthouse 2, the second one to be built. The first Eddystone Lighthouse was the first offshore lighthouse, as far as I'm aware. Definitely in the UK, it was the first. And it blew down in a storm. So they built the second one, and the creator was so sure that it would stand, it would survive. Again, it looks like this. I'll put an image up. He was so sure that it would not be knocked down in a storm that he decided to go and stay in the lighthouse on one of the stormiest days recorded in British history. And the next day, the lighthouse was gone. I find it quite a funny looking lighthouse, and I decided to try and build it. I'm quite proud of how it looks. Obviously, the sort of English flag there doesn't really make sense with the sort of quasi-law. Anyway, just over this hill, it should be starting to come into render distance soon, is the latest build project. And that is the castle I was talking about. There we go. Oh. Oh, I thought he'd vanished then. They sometimes just go. And they're gone forever. I'm really proud of this. Realizing that... do I have a bed on me? You know what? I'm going to head just straight in. And find a bed. I'm really proud of this castle. I haven't exactly come up with a name for it. I've toyed with a few ideas. This is sort of the main eating hall. This is where the Lord would sit. It's all connected, so I guess this is a Lord that sort of, you know, cares for their people, you know. Doesn't you know, make them sit a table away. And up here, these are the bedrooms. I'm just going to sleep the night away. This is supposed to be the bedrooms for the sort of the guests and such. This is sort of, you know, the wise man's sort of room. You know, the elder of the castle, the advisor. And they have collected lots and lots of things, lots of odds and ends in their room. It's a very cramped space. This is just a spare room, I think. Same for this one. And I think this was the sort of second in command sort of room for the, you know, the person that looks after the castle when the Lord is away. But up here, this is for the Lord and their partner to sleep. Sort of the storage area. And over here is for the kids. Obviously the giant banner on the front kind of ruins this window. But I like to think that there are twins sharing this room. I don't really know why I came up with that, but it just makes sense to me. And then up here, the battlements. And the roof. So this uses a sort of classic castle design of the Motte and Bailey. Motte and Baileys tend to have the keep be built out of wood, so the idea is that this once was built out of wood, but it's been upgraded. You know, maybe the defensive structure isn't as important as the sort of display of wealth. So the Motte and Bailey remains, but the keep itself has been upgraded. This is sort of a basement for, you know, the storage of stuff. It's maybe not the most defensive build, but it's still got to hold strong in a siege. Here is the cook. Obviously the cook wants to be in the up in the most protected area, because, you know, can't have the Lord starving. Down here I haven't done the insides for these buildings yet. That's one of the next. In fact, there's still dirt from where I was trying to place the hay bales correctly. There's another stable here. In fact, I think I just got off my horse. Where has it gone? Yeah, I tend to just do that quite often. Don't put them away. In fact, I think I took a different horse to Oaktown. Yeah. Right, you can go in here for now. There's also a blacksmith here. Because if this is a slightly more militarized zone, it makes sense. They wouldn't be getting their tools all the way from, their weapons all the way from Oaktown. It's a blacksmith. There's also a pigsty here, but they all decide to be in the corner because mobs just can't play nice. I think it's because of the soul sand. I tried to make it look like, you know, pig muck, but I think I might remove it because it's not quite worth it. So yeah, I'm really proud of the gradient on the castle. It's a gradient that I've loaded this world up in newer versions, like a copy. And the gradient loses, the effect is sort of a lot worse. In I think 1.12 they changed the, oh not 1.12, I want to say 1.11, whatever the World of Colour update was, changed the wall textures, and so the gradient doesn't work quite as well. But I quite like it. Like this. That is pretty much everything. I'll head back via the nether. You can see my nether highway. It is terrible. So there are two ways that I die in this world. I have diamond armor and instant no cooldown hitting, right? So I can fight off most things pretty well. But the two things that kill me in this world is something knocking me off into lava in the nether, or going AFK. As you can see, it's no handrails, because that would take time. Definitely would be worth the time saved from gathering all my gear together again. So this does go to a few random locations. There's a village that way. There's a desert that way. Oh, can I get it? Don't you just love old netherrack as well? Second nature to me now because I've been playing this a long time, but every time I show someone, I get to this point. Old netherrack always comes up. Oh, I'm done with you now. Oh. still here, yeah. Obviously this enters the basement. And here we are, back home. I hope you enjoyed the tour. If you have any ideas or suggestions, I'd happily take them, because I'm always looking for things to add to the project list. I didn't really show the mob farm in progress in working order. As you can see, it definitely works. The mob sounds, I kind of regret building it there, but again, I think it's very convenient to have it be somewhere where I spend a lot of my time, and that is one of the issues. Mobs with armor occasionally survive. It's pretty rare. I think they have to be on the lowest rung, but it does happen, which kind of does nullify all the torch spam. I've been considering adding a lava blade, but I don't think I'd like how it looks if it's floating. Maybe I could build it down here. I'm not sure. I'll consider it. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Yeah, I don't think I have anything else to say. Cheers.